What is going on, my real estate investing geniuses? Welcome back to another Wednesday masterclass. I have two great, phenomenal guests with us tonight, coming by way of the South, coming from Augusta, Georgia, Miss Ehrin Fairey, who is an up and coming and realtor in Augusta, Georgia market, and she is tearing it up and doing a lot of great things there. And then Mr. Paul Myers, who has a wholesaling business there based out of Augusta, is just crushing it. So we have two phenomenal all-stars with us tonight. And I'm gonna let them introduce themselves, and then we'll get started and kind of diving in with everybody's tapped in tonight to kind of talk about the real estate market there in Augusta, Georgia, and then also just wholesaling in general, some of the strategies and techniques that Paul uses in his business. And I got a couple questions for you, Paul, too, because I just love talking to entrepreneurs, man. And just kind of seeing that journey, because we all have a unique process and journey that we travel to get to where we are today,
right.
where we are in life. So it's super cool. So yeah, Ehrin, we'll start with you.
Yeah, so I'm Ehrin Fairey. I am, like Johnny mentioned, a realtor here in Augusta, Georgia. I'm with Southeastern Residential. Fun fact about me is Johnny and I met over a decade ago back in our young Air Force days. So it's kind of been neat to see how we've evolved and moved into the real estate world a little bit. But I'm excited to be on tonight and talk to y'all a little bit about the Augusta market.
Awesome. Yeah, we got to get your husband Caleb on here too.
I know. He's eager. Yeah.
For sure. What's up, Paul?
My name's Paul Myers. I'm 38. I've been married for 16 years. I've got 4 kids that are starting to eat some chocolate chip cookies downstairs. And I've been investing for 16 years. I started because my granddad gave me Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I read that book and kind of gave me some direction and vision for how I wanted to pursue early retirement. I worked a corporate gig for 13 years and then hung that up and got out of the rat race through side hustling on single family rentals, and amassed those during the recession from 2009 to 13. And then, retired at 34, and then basically decided to pursue my own real estate investment firm here in Augusta, Georgia, where I live. I've got 7 team members. Last year, we bought 64 homes. We do a mixture of buy and hold is our first option, fix and flip. We also do wholesale, where we put things directly on the MLS, wholesale, and then we also do subject to and wraps. So I've done a little multifamily. I've done one 40-unit apartment complex and some small duplexes, but most of my experience in current business is in the single family world.
Awesome. Great introduction. A wealth of experience here with us tonight. I am super excited to have you guys on. I know my man Henry Scott is listening in, one of my mentees that's based out of Augusta, who's a fellow veteran as well too.
Oh, sweet.
And so I know he's going to definitely be connecting with you guys. And so Ehrin, I know you have a presentation for us, and Paul has something teed up for us too. So let's get into it.
Yeah. So I will, let's see. There we go. So I wanted to kind of quickly give you an overview of why you should be excited, one, to invest in Augusta, and then talk a little bit about some market stats and trends that we're seeing here in Augusta. And then I wanted to pull some numbers specifically for investors and why you may be interested in this market. So why Augusta? I put these images up here because I wanted to highlight what we call the 4 M's. We have military, we have medical, we have manufacturing, and we also have, unique to Augusta, the masters. And all of these contribute to making us a really strong market and a heavily growing market with a strong economy and a lot of job growth. So at the top with the military, Fort Gordon is the primary Army post here. It's grown a lot the past couple of years. It's going to continue to do so because we have Army Cyber here, which is bringing in a lot of tech industry and startup cyber companies here. But we also have some other intelligence sites there too that's drawing a lot of contracting, civilian and military, all branches to our area. And then in the top right corner, I mentioned medical. We have 5 hospitals here. We have the Dental College of Georgia here. And so what that means when you think of it from an investment perspective is that there's a lot of travel nurses, travel PTs that are coming in that would be looking for those short-term rentals potentially. And there's also just a lot of growth and development with strong incomes coming in from the medical field. The bottom left, I took a picture of our newest Amazon plant, which is in Columbia County, out in Appling, Georgia. And that area has grown a lot, brought a lot of jobs out to the western area of Columbia County, but there's a lot of other manufacturing and industry here too. We have the Savannah River site. We have Plant Bogle. Those are both nuclear facilities. So that's bringing a lot of job stability to our economy as well. And then lastly, I wanted to highlight the Masters. I'm sure all of you are familiar with it, but it boosts our economy significantly every couple of years or every couple of weeks each year. And a lot of people like to rent out their personal homes during that time. But for your short-term rentals, you can gain a lot of income during that time period. For example, we have an Airbnb closer to the historic part of Augusta, and we made $8,000 in 8 days. A 2-bedroom, 2-bath. So like that more than helps cover half the mortgage for that year. So it's a really neat opportunity that's unique to Augusta.
Hold on. I'm gonna stop you there. So you said you rented out short term for 1 week, and you cover 6 months of your mortgage.
Yes.
Awesome. That's the power of real estate.
That is. And I mean, we rent out our personal property too. And it's not for everybody because it's a lot of work, but being able to have that extra income each year definitely helps. And if you're wise about it, you're saving that up to put into the next asset. So
nice.
So that is why, y'all. Those are your 4 M's for why Augusta. And I also wanted to highlight what the media and national coverage is right now for Augusta. So U.S. News and World Report 2022 best places to live. Augusta, Georgia's in the top 100. Number 74 in best places to live in the United States. Number 60 in best places to retire. And it was number 1 top metro area in Georgia. So a lot of growth coming to the area. Travel and Leisure magazine just came out with an article last month. Augusta is in the top 15 best places to visit in Georgia. Money magazine a couple of years ago highlighted Evans as best place to live in America right now, which is a suburb town right outside of Augusta in Columbia County. And then the White House just last week, as part of their federal program to connect American workers to jobs, they have this Investing in America agenda, and they're going to be providing federal grants to 5 of what they call hub cities, and Augusta is one of them.
Really?
So there's a lot coming in, and I'm sure, Paul's seeing that as well, especially from the investment side.
Yeah.
So I am geographically minded. I have a feeling Johnny is too, just because of our backgrounds. But I wanted to show you where Augusta is in relation to the rest of the Southeast, because we are in this amazing central location to so much. It is 2 hours from Atlanta. It's 2 to 3 hours from the mountains in Asheville, North Carolina. You can get to the beach very easily to Charleston or Savannah. And Augusta is also right on the Savannah River. So you can purchase investment properties from either state, South Carolina or Augusta, Georgia, very easily. And there's a lot of growth happening on both sides. Diving in a little closer, I wanted to kind of hit on just some of the the features, I guess Augusta offers. You can get very quickly to Aiken, which is a quickly developing town in South Carolina. You can get to Clarks Hill Lake very easily. And there is so much development even around Fort Gordon, which is just south of Grovetown, which you see just west of Augusta. So there's a lot of opportunity here. And so I wanted to kind of give you some geographical references of what I perceive to be hotspots for investment. Paul may disagree with me, or he may want to highlight some other ones. But I wanted to hit on 5. You'll notice first, kind of at the bottom of the screen in the red dots, there's Gate 6 and Main Gate. Those are 2 of the primary entrances to Fort Gordon. Gate 6 is the newest one. It's where the visitor center is and when there's a lot of traffic coming in for those missions that we were talking about earlier. And so that's right outside Grovetown. And it's about 10 minutes from downtown Harlem. And then you can easily get over to the Main Gate side and into the more central Augusta area. So I'll start there. So Grovetown, right outside Gate 6, a few minutes from the Main Gate, has a lot of military. And when military come in, if they're smart, they're purchasing homes. If they know that they're going to be there for a few years, they're maximizing their VA eligibility. But if they think they're going to be there short term, or they're not uncertain about the market, they don't think they're going to build equity or be able to hold on to it, then there's a great long-term rental opportunity, in my opinion, there. Depending on what you prefer to invest in, if you like to buy and hold, or if you want something with lower maintenance, there's a lot of new construction out there. There's also opportunity for flipping and renovating there in Grovetown as well. Just to the west in Harlem and Appling area, you'll see that yellow dot says Amazon plant. That's where the new plant arrived. And just south of there is a new subdivision called Greenpoint, and it still has a long way to go. They're just starting their second phase, so there'll be a lot of growth there. There's a lot of commercial zoned there. So the opportunity to buy, even if it was a fix and flip, or you decided to update it and then hold on to it, the potential for future growth is there because there's a lot that's going to be coming there. And then Harlem still has this quaint small town feel to it, but there's still a lot more space as opposed to moving further.
I think she froze up for a second there, maybe.
Yeah, she did. I was waiting for Ehrin to come back, but this is how you analyze and dive into a market and understanding where you need to invest, where's the path of progress, understanding where the jobs are, understanding where there's older real estate, where homes are needing renovation. All these things kind of go into that process as an investor that you need to go and check off your box in order to make sure that you're buying in the area that makes sense from an investment, whereas that you may not need. If you're looking for a rental property, you're going to be looking for things a little bit different than somebody that may be looking for a fix and flip, where an area where there's a lot of home ownership, so things like that. So no, I think this is awesome when you start looking at diving into it and analyzing the market. No, you're fine. No, I was just talking about how great this is with actually this type of information that you need when you're making decisions and looking to where you're going to invest your marketing dollars and start at neighborhoods you want to start targeting for to find projects.
Yeah, I mean, would you agree, Paul, with like the Harlem Appling area? If you're staying in Georgia, that's where the future growth is, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Grovetown's pretty much running out of space. So, excuse me. So yeah, it's moving out to Harlem Appling slowly but surely.
And then Columbia County contains Martinez, Evans, Appling, Harlem, and Grovetown. But that has become And probably Evans has been highlighted as this very desirable place to live. And I mean, it is true. It has a lot of great communities there. It's very popular for families. It's known for its schools. And they are really working hard to develop downtown Evans to make it this multi-use commercial mixed with like luxury luxury apartments with a lot of parks and stuff. So that's going to be kind of the central hub around Evans. So it's been neat to see just the growth that is coming to the Columbia County area as a whole. And then if you are a hardcore fix and flipper and you like historic homes and you like bringing homes that need a lot of love and care back to life, the Somerville Hill area closer to downtown has been really popular. It's right next to the Augusta National. You'll see that green space just north of the Star. That's the Augusta National, but it's also close to a lot of the hospitals in town. We have a couple of hospitals there. The VA Medical Center, it has a spot there closer to the Somerville area and also downtown. So if you're looking to make your primary tenant or you want to do a short-term rental with the medical career field, like, and advertise on Furnish Finder, wherever you like to advertise, that area would be a good place for you, in my opinion. And then South Carolina side is booming like crazy. I think builders are finding it easier to work with Aiken County than Columbia County in Georgia right now. So you're seeing this mass rush across the water too. So, and also there's a lot of manufacturing on that side. They've also recently developed this amazing restaurant area and baseball stadium, SRP Park, right on the other side of the water. So if you're looking to renovate a home similar to the Somerville Hill area, there's some cute homes in that downtown area that would be neat to flip. But then there's also a lot of different communities surrounding that area too.
Interesting. So looking at the map, so North Augusta is actually, is that like a township that's in South Carolina?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's
So okay. It really feels kind of one and the same, like, because the Savannah River is the only thing that separates it. So it's, you just bounce back and forth to each state. So,
cool.
So, and then for numbers, this is just a quick snapshot in time, but I can kind of give it some context based on what's like normal balanced market versus what we saw last year. So currently right now we only have a little less than 1,300 active listings in our greater Augusta market in our inventory. And that translates to less than 2 months of inventory, which means that we're still in a seller's market. And I'm not sure what all the other markets are nationally. You kind of hear mixed reports, but a balanced market for us is closer to 2,000 homes in inventory. So there's still a lot of buyer demand out there. And I think some sellers are a little more hesitant to list just because everybody, here's the national news, interest rates have been up, there's uncertainty. So folks are kind of holding on to the equity that they have in their home and kind of sitting a little bit, in my opinion. But our sold prices have stayed strong. So actually for this week, it's a little bit higher than what we see on average. I would say on average, our sold price across the board right now is around $300,000. Richmond County, where Augusta proper is located, is a little bit under that. I would say Columbia County is a little closer to 310 on average. But our listed sold ratio has been very stable still. It's still been about asking price. It's a little bit under, but it's not, we haven't seen any significant drops in prices. But I will say is we're still very affordable compared to the rest of the country. Like from living in Arizona in the past and Hawaii, where you're seeing homes twice this, if not more, this is very Augusta's still very affordable in my opinion. So
Ehrin, quick question. So one of the things that I've been looking at in the markets I'm in, and then just different people I follow nationally, that it seems that when you start talking about the active listings and when you start diving in deeper, that it comes down that we almost have two different markets that's rolled up into the individual market. Whereas
yes.
that you see the inventory, but the majority of the inventory is on the, higher than the median sales price
It
in the
is.
area. And when
Yep.
you look at below 300K in this market, that
Mhm.
there's a shortage of houses. When you start talking about entry level houses, first time home
Yeah.
buyers,
Home affordability. Yeah.
right?
No, I think I'm glad you mentioned that. Like I would agree with that in Augusta. Like what I've been starting to see the past few weeks is homes in the 350 range and under are back to multiple offer. Like
Okay,
our new construction homes that are 450, 550, we have inventory. Like in fact, builders are still providing tons of incentives to try to move those. But
okay,
the 350 and under, I had a listing about a month ago that was at like priced at 355, 360 and we had 26 showings. 17 families arrived at the open house and we had 3 offers
Wow.
within the first couple of days. So,
yeah,
and I mean, it's a highly desirable area. It was in Evans. But like we're still seeing that. I mean, my husband and I tried putting in a offer today and it was competitive. It was for an investment property and like they had
okay.
4 offers within 2 hours. So like it is still moving quickly, but I think depending on what you're looking for and if you're a cash buyer, leveraging your strengths, submitting an offer, um, you can make it and your acceptable level of risk, like you can make it work. Or that's why I wanted to bring in Paul too. We can always we need to look at on and off. It's teamwork.
Right.
so so
That's
yeah.
right. That's right.
So some characteristics. I already kind of talked about seller's market. Interest rates. Everybody was kind of freaking out last week. They were up above 7. They are dropping slightly. They're still in the high 6s. We talked about multiple offers. Oh, appreciation. So the Augusta market we're still anticipating it to continue to appreciate just because of the demand here and because of the job stability here. I can't remember the source, but I remember being quoted about 6%. It's not going to be the double-digit growth that we saw the past couple of years, but it's going to remain stable. And we mentioned the demand with buyers, but also with renters. Like rentals are flying off too because a lot of people need homes. I thought this was an interesting stat, and I have a little more specific to like investor type properties, but
Okay.
18% of our market was cash buyers. And then I just wanted to highlight too that rental prices have increased tremendously. So the cash flow, if you're looking at that, is there a lot of times. And then home prices have increased significantly here, as with the national market. I'm sure it's pretty similar.
Yeah, that's looking at those numbers. That's like 31%. So essentially, if you bought a house for 450,000 in 2020, that you've essentially made 150K in equity in the last 2 years.
Yes.
It's gone up almost 33%, a third of the value.
Yes.
Just insane.
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of folks here kind of say that Augusta, and I don't know if the numbers were as significant everywhere else, but Augusta was kind of below value here. And then
Okay.
it kind of came on the grid.
Well, when you have the federal
Grid.
government
Yep,
bring in over $500 million and put in the Air Force Base,
exactly.
Army installation and all that, it's going to bring a lot of jobs and a lot of money to the area.
Exactly. And it's multifaceted. It's all of the different types of industries we were talking about at the beginning. So I pulled numbers specific to single family homes under 200,000 because those tend to be that more investment range from the past 12 months. And the total closed in our market was 1,700, give or take, So that was 23% of the total market closed. Of that, though, and I thought this was an interesting stat, Paul, because Columbia County is more desirable. Of those 1,700, only 155 were from Columbia County as a whole. The majority was Richmond County. And days on market at this price point were still low too. 75% of the homes in Columbia County closed between 30 and 60 days. So it's still moving off the shelves very quickly. And then 64% in Richmond County. So,
okay.
And I don't know that you'll be able to click these links. We could send them out after, but I pulled current actives for townhomes, single family, and multifamily. The multifamily numbers surprised me because we don't have much of that to offer here. A lot of those are older renovated homes that they turned into multi-unit.
Really? Okay.
So,
have they are they value add, or have they already been renovated, remodeled?
I can look at it more specifically. There may be some value add.
Okay, but no, I mean that's why I tell people, especially for those looking to leverage the VA loan or FHA loan, that you can qualify up to a 4-unit property that you can use with that loan. Mm-hmm. So essentially, for like young soldiers, young airmen.
I wish I had done that, Johnny. I wish I had done that.
Same here. Yep, exactly. That you can come in and buy a multifamily unit up to 4 units, and I've seen it where they actually use the FHA 203K, where they actually give you the money to do some of the renovations on the property as well too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Awesome.
I think that's pretty much it, Paul. I went ahead and put your website connect link up here too in your social.
Awesome.
But feel free to reach out to either of us if you want to learn a little bit more, get set up on a search. I'd be happy to talk with you. So that's all I have.
And I'm throwing my email in the comments field for anyone that wants to shoot me.
And share your social media in there too, so individuals can reach out and follow you all. And this was great, Ehrin.
Yeah.
And I don't have any questions. You pretty much covered everything that an investor would like to know about why Augusta is a good market. I know Henry's over there like, I got it. All these other people are going to be coming in my market. Especially, all these investors that like to buy virtual and everything. But I like messing with Henry. No, but that was a really, really good deep dive. And I think for investors, that when you start talking with a real estate agent, this is the type of information that an agent should be presenting to you in order for you to make informed decisions. And for you, that now you can give them and understand from this information. Now you can come back and give her, I like to say, my area of operations, or give her your buy box. What do you care about? What price per square, not price per square foot, but how many bedrooms, baths, how much square footage, what size house do you want to look for? What side of town? And so when these things come on the market, or when they come up in the broker's meeting before it even hits the MLS, that she can say, hey, I got a client that'll be interested in looking at this and potentially putting an offer in. She can be your eyes and ears. So no, phenomenal job and information on there for sure. Paul, what you got for us, man?
Absolutely. I'm ready to rock and roll. I can either do open Q&A, or I can do a little bit of a presentation on debt. It's totally up to you, Johnny. What would you prefer?
Let's do both.
Let's do both. Let's go.
Let's do both. Let's do like 10, 15 minutes, and then we open it up for Q&A.
Okay. All right. I'm going to share my screen here real quick and see if I can it will let me show this presentation. Let me know if y'all can see my screen here. Can y'all see it?
Yep, we can see it now.
Awesome. Okay, great. So I do a lot of presentations. Just a little bit about me. I have a particular niche within the subject of real estate investing called that I call building relationships with agents, or RWA, relationships with agents. So my niche in the world of real estate investing has become basically how to create a comprehensive plan for engaging all the real estate agents in your market. So if anyone wants to know more about that, I'd be more than happy to share further. You can, I think I posted my cell and email in the comments. I just recently presented at a conference in Phoenix about this particular subject of how to create win-win relationships with agents. And one of the cool things that I did was I interviewed Kim Kiyosaki at this conference, which I know Ehrin was excited about. So I don't know if I can maybe throw this YouTube link into the comment section here.
For sure.
And if you guys want to copy that link, you can check out that interview I did with her. That was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And so that was a lot of fun. Hopefully that'll be a value add for your audience, Johnny.
No, I definitely appreciate that. I'm gonna check it out. It's gonna be value add for me too.
Absolutely. So let me know if that link doesn't work that I just threw in there. But this is a presentation I give for real estate agents to help them understand just a little bit about the types of debt you can use for real estate investing. And all of these are different types I've used, but I generally like to encourage people as they get started in choosing debt is to pick out what their horizon is. And by the way, this is a picture of my family, except for my newborn that's 1 year old. And my kids are now, he's 11, she's 9, he's 7. I assume, can y'all see my cursor too, moving around?
Yep, we can.
Okay, sweet. So from a strategy perspective, I always say match your financing to your exit strategy. Now, Johnny, it seems like the majority of your audience is buy and hold wealth builders. Is that a fair statement?
We got a combination of fix and flip, buy and hold, and and a few people that look to wholesale.
Okay, great. So depending on what your strategy is what your financing needs to match, right? So I've kind of learned a lot from both Dave Ramsey and Robert Kiyosaki, who I would say are on different ends of the spectrum for debt tolerance. With Robert being hey, get as much debt leverage as you can, borrow out as much as you can through borrowing or buying, renovating, renting out, and refinancing at the maximum appraised value or 80% of appraised value. And then Dave is, I don't use any debt. And where I've kind of fallen over the years is, I have I just did my financial statement for May today, and I have about a 30% loan to value on my rentals. So I think every investor probably starts over here with a little more debt, maybe in the 60-70-80% range. And then over time, they minimize that. But I don't know where you each are. Everyone has their own amount of debt tolerance. But good thing to think about is where you fall on the spectrum.
It's funny that you bring that up, Paul. I literally did a post today asking people what they prefer: 800 credit score, 0 assets, 0 cash flow, no debt, or 680 credit score with assets, their cash flow, and with debt. And it's amazing the thought process. Some people, like you said, the one end of the spectrum, they're completely anti-debt. It stresses them out. And then you have the other side, people that's completely comfortable with leverage, and they understand the importance of leveraging to a certain extent to get cash flowing assets that's going to appreciate over time.
If I could say one thing that I've learned just from my investing in real estate, and I've never had the misfortune of going broke or going bankrupt, but I know what I've learned from Dave and him going bankrupt is he borrowed a lot on short-term notes from banks that could call his notes due. So I think that there's a lot of danger in using debt if you're using adjustable rate mortgages or balloons. Those are kind of the two things you really want to make sure you're careful to avoid. But generally, if you want to hear more about that, listen to my interview with Kim and scroll to, I don't remember where I talked to her about debt, but I think here it is. It's 27 minutes into the interview, 27:43. And you can check out, I know that Kiyosaki's love debt, but I wanted to ask her more specifically about kind of where she draws the line on certain things. So I think the best kind of debt is fixed rate, long-term debt that doesn't, it's fixed rate, so no adjustable rates, and fully amortized or close to being fully amortized so that you don't have any balloons. So, so that's a little bit about debt. So I've used a lot of different stuff. I've used LARs, which are loans accounts receivable. This is just, I have about 8 or 9 different types of debt in this presentation, from the very smallest to the kind of the larger stuff. This is one of the very smallest ones, but you can go into Lowe's and go over to the commercial section and get a $25,000 credit limit. They call it an LAR, and it's a great way to get a little bit of payment terms and to be able to have a good source of accounting So it's got convenient accounting here with 1 month term for repayment. No income verification. So I would encourage people to get LAR if they want to float their renovation costs on a LAR with Lowe's. It makes accounting convenient. It also allows you 2 levels of authorization for general contractors. One, which they can just pick up anything they want. They don't need your approval if you really trust them. And then the other would be if you don't trust them as much, but they'll call you. They'll make the cashier will call you when the general contractor's at the checkout line and call you for an authorization. They also have little perks, but the biggest thing I think that I've used the LAR for is getting QSP orders, which I don't know what that stands for. I forget. But you can go to the manager of the store, and they'll take your order and forward it to corporate, and they'll generally corporate will reply based on the SKU numbers and quantities you submit in your order to give you discounts on all of the stuff based on their corporate profit margins. So that's pretty cool, pretty big things. Sounds like a lot of y'all are military, so you're probably getting a 5 to 10% automatic discount, but this is a way to take your discount to the next level. Signature loans, unsecured personal loans, great, decent opportunity. Smaller type of debt, typically 25 to 100 grand that you can get from a branch manager in a local bank or credit union. I would encourage you to go to those as opposed to a big bank. No collateral, you can get high interest rates. Credit limit 10 to 50 or 25 to 100, and then short-term in nature. So that's that. Equity line of credit. This is something I used. I got a $15,000 line of credit, probably 10, 15 years ago when I first got started investing. Of course, the downside is you have an annual fee and you're collateralizing your primary residence. But it also increases your liquidity, and it's typically one of the lowest types of debt you can get. Non-owner occupied conventional mortgage. I've done a bunch of these. This is probably the first 10 years of investing. This is all I did. I just bought rentals and I put 5 to 20% down and then got a 15-year or a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. It is the best financing for long-term rentals, and it hopefully hedges you against inflation. But you know, it can require a lot to put down, right? 20, 25 to 30%. There's also a version of the same conventional mortgage that's a non-qualified mortgage, which doesn't require income verification, and it's approved based on the prospective rental income. Pretty cool product. This is a guy that's got it here in Augusta that you could apply through. Just an interesting type product. Only 30-year term, no 15-year available, but downside is you pay a higher interest rate, 8 to 9%, whereas a conventional mortgage right now you might be in the 6 to 7.5% range for investment property or non-owner occupied. Private money. I started raising private money when I did that 40-unit apartment complex. I had to raise a 300 grand. It sounds like this is something that your audience is pretty familiar with, but I have an entire 1-hour presentation that I give just on raising private money. But kind of a brief overview is generally it's individuals, and whereas hard money would be institutions. And it's a great way to get 100 or even 125% of your purchase price in reno. And you can get longer terms, 6 to 12 months, but as long as I've gotten 3 years. And, you know, it's a way to get money without paying points to a hard money lender. So I'd encourage anyone that's interested in funding short-term in real estate investments like fix and flips or wholesale deals where you're just buying something and trashing it out and putting it on the MLS to really consider how they can raise private money to be able to lower their overall cost of debt. Okay. This is just some good ideas of how to raise private money. Again, I have a whole nother presentation that I think Ehrin just actually attended in Augusta. So generally it helps to come with a deal, not a theory, and have some deal analysis, and then ask the lender, you know, after you built a relationship with them over lunch, you can ask them to, when you have your next deal that you think would be a fit for them, ask them to wire money directly to escrow, to your real estate closing attorney. Have some skin in the game as well, and then you can also offer to share profits initially. I don't typically do that, but it's another way to incentivize the lender. Finding net worth people with a net worth of $3 to $10 million is generally who you would raise private money from. So you don't want to take someone's last 100 grand. These are just some good ideas of occupations of private money lenders that you could approach. Hopefully this will get the gears turning in your mind for, who you might have in your network. So take a screenshot of this with your iPhone if you want, and I may have a QR code at the end of this presentation where I do provide some resources. So if you want, you can scan the QR code at the end, and I can send you a list of these too if you can't take a picture.
Okay.
Go ahead, Johnny.
No, I was saying, okay, no, that's awesome.
Here's a template that I've used for requesting funding from private money lenders. And I think I'm going to peek forward. I think I have a QR code at the end of I do. So if you want to scan that QR code, I can get your email. If you click exchange contact info at the end, I can send you this as a resource as well as this list as a resource. So let me see here. Yeah, this just says I'm buying a home. Here's the address. Here's what I need. I need 201 to buy it, 327 to renovate it. So I need a total of 530 grand. Here's a link to the pictures. I've attached a spreadsheet to this email with my underwriting. I'm seeking funds at 10% or 8%, whatever it might be. Loan term 12 months. That would be what's on the promissory note. And I plan to renovate it over 4 months' time and then list and sell it within 2 months' time, 1 to 2 months. So payment schedule, I generally like to pay my private money lenders with a single balloon payment at resale. And I tell them who my closing attorney is, their collateral, which is what protects them, right? They get a security deed that secures their loan to be in first position. And then lender's title insurance in case the home burns down, they would be compensated. And then date of loan and closing is when I would need them to fund the deal by. So this is kind of a template I would use an email template that I would send to private money lenders, BCC, so they can't see each other, and kind of give them the deal info and see who wants to participate. And then I'd follow that up with a phone call as well to see who's interested in funding the deal. So also, most closing attorneys in your market, like we use Wright McLeod, attorneys at law in Augusta. We did over 100 closings with them last year. They have a loan information sheet, which I send also as a resource, which I'm happy to send to your audience, Johnny. This has all the information that the closing attorney would need to draw up your promissory note and security deed so that the private money lender is protected. Okay. Hard money, yeah, it's basically just like private money, except it's an institution, not an individual, and significantly more expensive, especially as it relates to paying points. But there's a place for hard money, and if you ever want to 100% fund your fix and flips, and you don't have a private money lender that'll do it, you could always start with hard money for 80% of your total project cost, which would be your purchase price plus your reno combined. That's your total project cost, and then get 20% in private money. So then you've 100% funded your fix and flip. I've also used commercial loans for my rentals, which I think it's great to pursue local banks and credit unions for those as opposed to the big banks. For instance, I did a 10 by 15, which is a 10-year fixed rate mortgage. I did this on 6 rentals that I owned. And I had several of them on conventional mortgages, but some I'd recently paid cash for, 2 of the 6. So I wanted to put them all on a blanket mortgage with as long a term as possible. So I got a credit union called SRP to lend me 500 grand on these 6 rentals. And they gave me a fixed rate for 7 years and then another fixed rate for another 3 years. Most commercial lenders will only go 3, 5, or 7 years, but I was able to get a 10-year fixed rate with a 15-year AM. So that means I have a balloon at 10 years, in which case I will have paid it down from 500 grand down to 200 grand. So I was fine with that, a balloon in that particular instance. So that's a blanket mortgage. Blanket simply means you're collateralizing multiple properties that you own. And then blanket line of credit, again, same thing. If you have multiple properties and you want to have a line of credit so you can have access to cash for fix and flips, you can generally get the same loan to value, 75%, and you can generally get a 3-year term before the line has to be renewed for another 1, 3, or 5 years. So this would be a great way if you own a bunch of rentals that are paid for, or you got a lot of equity and you want to get some of that equity access to it so you can do fix and flips. Blanket lines of credit would be a good opportunity to pursue. All right, there's my link. So if you want to scan that, I can and click exchange contact info. I'll send you a complimentary email with those 3 resources: the loan information sheet, the sample list of private money lenders that you can pursue, as well as the the email template for raising private money. And I put my contact info in the comments below. So I think with that, we'll open it up for questions.
No, phenomenal job, man. No, that was a lot of value, especially for those that have questions, definitely drop them in the chat. We'll bring those up. Or
Yeah,
actually, I can
great.
share the link if they want to come up on camera. They can come up on camera as well too, and
Okay, sweet.
and ask in person. So what was your industry that you were in those years up until you retired at 34?
I worked for 13 years from 22 to 35. I did 4 years in banking for Wachovia and Wells Fargo as a branch manager. So that's how I learned a little bit about personal loans and signature loans. Then I did 5 years in B2B sales for a staffing and recruiting company called MAU, which was a wonderful experience. I loved it. Learned how to sell there, which was great. Instrumental in my success, both as a professional and a real estate investor. Then the last 4 years, I did 2 years for a landlord called Hull Property Group that owned 30 shopping malls throughout the U.S. In fact, I used to go to Virginia a good amount. I went to Danville and Martinsville, Virginia, to lease shopping mall space there. And then I also, the last 2 years, I worked for a commercial brokerage as an internal sales leader, as well as a producing third-party commercial agent.
Okay.
And then I kind of hung all that up and resigned from all that 3 years ago and started Myers House Buyers, which we're a local real estate investment firm here in Augusta. We do kind of all those different exit strategies I mentioned in the beginning. And yeah, if we can help, if anyone wants access to our off-market deals, you can email me and we can add you to our buyers list. And yeah, any way you want to connect, we'd love to be a resource to you.
No, that's awesome. How have things changed kind of within the last year, with the off market, with finding off market deals in your market? Have you seen a change, or how's that dynamic been playing out?
Yeah. The one thing that's become difficult for us has been the exit of hedge funds from the market. So we used to do a lot of business with hedge funds, 2 to 3 of them that were pretty big, and they had a big appetite. So I don't know what percentage we sold of homes to them, but so that's been challenging to have them exit the market. It's caused us to have to re-engage our investor buyers, our investor partners and cash buyers on a whole nother level.
Okay.
So that's been unfortunate. But it's just part of the ebbs and flows of the real estate market. Other than that, it still seems like Augusta is a very strong market. I mean, things have slowed down a little bit on our fix and flips. I think we've got 5 going right now, but it's not crazy. I think if you still bring a good product to the market that's well priced, kind of like Ehrin was talking about in her case studies earlier, then you can move your stuff, especially if it's professionally staged and you have professional photos and a good agent like Ehrin that's marketing it well, then you won't have a problem moving it.
Awesome. No, that's great feedback. What advice, man, would you give to like somebody that's starting off new and for us fix and flips, or a wholesaler that's looking to get started and maybe on their first couple projects and just kind of getting their feet wet in the game?
Yeah. If I was talking to a fix and flipper, I would say you really need to learn how to raise private money, because if you don't, then you're going to you're going to limit the amount of deals you can do from all these deals to then just deals that require some type of debt, like a mortgage. So if I were a fix and flipper, I would say you need to get out and raise money. If I were a wholesaler, if I was advising a wholesaler, I'd probably almost say the same thing, because wholesaling is like the lowest form of return on investment on a lead or a deal, because you're having to leave a lot of meat on the bone for the fix and flipper or the landlord that's buying it from you, right? So if you actually have access to capital and you have access to cash, like I do, or if you go raise money and you find a private money lender that'll fund you, then you have the opportunity to say, hey, if the person I was going to sell this deal to is not giving me a fair price, then I can pay cash and I'll close on it. And I'll either do the fix and flip, or I'll list it with Ehrin on the MLS and just see, if I can find an investor buyer that way that'll pay me a larger price, a fairer price, which we've seen that again and again on our deals. I mean, we've had, I think, 2 homes in particular where I could have sold them off market to a friend for 130, and I sold on the MLS for 160, 170.
Okay.
So, but I needed the cash. I needed the cash to pay cash for the home, to take it down and to put it on the MLS. So, it's important to learn how to raise money. And also, if you're a wholesaler and you want to connect with us and you need help, I just thought about this, moving your deals. We have an investor partner network of 600 local investors that we work with. So we do 50-50 JV splits. So if you have a deal that you have under contract, but you don't have the buyer's list built, first of all, I mean, you could JV with us and bring us your contract and we'll help you with it. But also, if you just, want to do it on your own, then I would say build your own buyer's list. Go to the RIA, the Real Estate Investors Association, go to the tax lien auctions, go to the foreclosure auctions. I mean, that's what I did. I was there every month building my list and networking with other cash buyers and figuring out what they wanted so I could deliver it to them on a silver platter. So that's another little piece of advice I would give there.
Awesome.
Welcome.
I guess I'm gonna let Henry ask his question. I don't know what that hat on his head. If I should let him come up here.
Let's go Bulldog. You heard that in the background? What you say that?
Let's go.
Okay. I got for each of you. So I guess I'll start with Paul first. So I'm a beginner flipper. So me, my dad, and my sister's on Monica Scott. I think she asked a question as well. But one of our biggest things is creating relationships with local contractors. And one thing I guess I like to ask is, like, how was your journey initially finding the contractors? What are some of the I guess lessons learned that you took away from from the early stages when you first started?
Yeah. Well, let me answer Monica's question, and then I'll come back to yours on contractors. So Monica asks in the comments, what do you see as the benefits of hold versus flip? And Monica, I would refer you to Gary Keller's book, The Millionaire Real Estate Investor, to page 222, in which Gary Keller talks about fixing and flipping is the highest form of creating cash in your business. There's no other way. It's way better than wholesaling. It's way better than wholesaling because you're adding the most value. So if you need to create cash, that's when you fix and flip. If you need to build wealth and create passive income, like Johnny's been talking about several times, then that's where you buy rentals and you do buy and hold. So it depends on really what you need, whether you need cash or whether you need to build wealth. And ideally you need both, but the deals that we all have to generate leads at the end of the day. That's what real estate investing is really all about. So the deals that come across my desk, I have to look at the geographic area and then decide, based on the area, whether I want to fix and flip it to create cash or buy and hold it to build wealth. So hopefully that gives you an answer to your question. And then I'd refer you again to that book, Gary Keller's book. He started Keller Williams. It's called The Millionaire Real Estate Investor. And it's page 222 where you'll see that diagram. Okay, back to your question, Henry, on contractors. I wish there was an easier way. Unfortunately, you have to kiss a lot of frogs to find the prince or princess. And I would encourage you to just go ahead and take action and keep the contractors on a short leash so that you can pivot if they don't perform. I've hired unlicensed general contractors in the 10 to 15% range of the renovation budget. So for instance, if the renovation budget is, let's just say 50 grand, then I found general contractors that'll charge me, 15% of 50 grand would be $7,500 as their fee. And then I've also hired licensed general contractors, which typically charge in the 15 to 20% range. And overall, my experience has been way better using licensed general contractors rather than unlicensed. Using unlicensed has always seemed to prove to me to be penny wise and pound foolish. So I would encourage you to, I would say, network at the RIA to the local. It sounds like you're in Augusta, and I got your text. So I would go to the Augusta RIA, which is I don't know, it's like the third or fourth, second Thursday of every month. Ehrin, I know, knows when it is. So I would go there and kind of ask around for general contractors and see, if you can build some relationships with a few. But ultimately, you really need to get referrals from them, from investor clients that they've served that were happy. So you got to at least get 2 or 3 references from every contractor. Hopefully that answers your question.
Henry, they have a Facebook page too, so we can link you to that. But like Paul said, it's the second Thursday of every month, and they have a lot of networking opportunities. Like they go grab barbecue on Fridays for lunch. So you have plenty of time to just go ask those questions and kind of figure out who you want to partner with to kind of build your base.
Yeah, so I'm actually a part of the Augusta RIA. I joined a couple months ago. Yeah, okay, I joined a couple months ago, so I'm new. But my question for you, Ehrin, was, I know you talked about the Grovetown market and near the gates. But what do you think about Columbia County, like specifically like Evans, and the outskirts of Grovetown towards that area? Do you think the market is hot in that area? Or I know most people migrate to Hepzibah, the median, smaller, the small income areas for doing the fix and flip. What do you think about more like the higher end area?
I mean, it's just harder to find. I think it's a great opportunity to invest if you find the right property, but it takes time and there's just not as much out there. Like that number I pulled earlier for the 200 and under homes, there was only 155 out of 1,700 that closed in all of Columbia County. So it really depends on your budget. And I mean, it's absolutely possible. We would just have to create a search for you, and we'd have to be really intentional and be ready to move quickly if the opportunity presented itself.
Yeah. So Ehrin, did you see the deal that we sent out on in Evans on Peyton Place?
I don't think so.
Okay. I'll have to forward you that, but we only get the number of homes we sell in Evans, which is the #1 zip code. If y'all heard Ehrin present earlier, it's the #1 zip code is 30809. We only get maybe 1, 2, 3 homes in that zip code per year out of all the homes we buy, out of, I don't know, 60, 70, 80 homes. So we actually have one right now. If you want to take a peek at it, just send me a reminder, email or text, and I'll send it to you.
We have one too. So we need to talk.
Okay. Tell me about it.
Text them to me. Caleb and I are looking. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so we have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I want to say like 2,700 square feet, and it has a unfinished basement. We're finishing that out. Contemplating on adding another bedroom. Another bathroom to a bed. So it'll be 3 bedrooms, 3 baths. So we're thinking about adding that, finishing out the basement. I don't know if you ever heard of Hattlesay Drive.
I have.
It's right there off of Gibbs Drive. So we're out there. About a quarter way through the rehab, so it's going along pretty good. So right now there's not a lot of comps in the area for that area for what we're trying to do. So we're kind of
is this the deal that has a little bit of acreage with it, like 2-3 acres?
Yes, about 4 acres. Yeah, about 4 acres. Yeah.
Yeah.
You heard about the deal?
I know. This deal has come across my desk like 3 or 4 times from 3 or 4 different people.
Yeah. So
cool.
Yeah.
I want to know how that deal turns out. I want to know what you do with it, because it was a very unique parcel.
It is. So yeah, I'll definitely keep you updated, because we're definitely gonna talk. So
okay. Ehrin, I just forwarded you that email of that deal on Peyton Place.
Okay. Thank you.
Interest y'all.
That's awesome. Hey, this is how deals get done. Just
That's right.
crosstalk, knowledge, and conversation, and yeah, and it's all about relationships. The different from contacts to contracts, it's the R. It's relationships that make it happen. So,
That's right.
no, I definitely appreciate Henry with the questions and anything else, man.
I actually had one more question about the promissory notes. So for the private funding, is that note that you did, is that like a standardized note that you created, or is that something that Wright McLeod provides, or how does that work?
Yeah, we leave all the paperwork to the attorney, and they draft it up. They charge a doc fee of $100 to $150 to draft it, but they'll do the promissory note and then the security deed, and to make sure it's collateralized properly, and all of that is recorded at the county courthouse and gets sent as a package with all the closing documents to the private money lender. And so, yeah, nothing you need to draw up. You don't even need to worry about the forms. That loan information sheet that I'll email you if you scan the QR code, that's pretty much it. I mean, that has all the terms that the real estate closing attorney is going to need to prepare the promissory note. So as long as you have that filled out and agreed upon with your private money lender and they wire in the money, you'll be all square.
Sounds good. I appreciate both of you all. Great information. Awesome briefs.
Thanks, Henry. All right, who's got the next question?
I think that's all the questions we have lined up.
Okay.
No, this has been great. You know, I love bringing on experts in the area to kind of highlight what they're doing, the cool stuff, and how they're crushing it in real estate, to just really, give people inspiration and let them know that, hey, it's everyday people out here that, go to work every day that made a decision at some point. It all starts with that first deal, and, and continue to show up and consistently execute. And then one day you eventually retire. You can start doing it full time, or whatever success looks like for you. You can make that decision and be able to kind of start living on your own terms. And
that's right.
Yeah. And just achieve that whole financial freedom and time freedom. And that's so right. I think that's super cool, man.
Well, Johnny, we're honored that you had us. Thank you so much for
thanks for having
us and networking us in with your group.
Yeah, most definitely. And then I'll be down here in a couple weeks. I hadn't told Henry yet, but I got to come down and catch that project before they completely wrap up. And so yeah, we'll connect for lunch or dinner or something. I'd
love that. I would love that.
2-day trip down to Augusta. I might even bring my golf clubs, Henry.
Yeah, you need to. We're on the golf course, so you need to come on.
Okay, yeah. Most definitely.
I might have to get a spot in that foursome when it gets developed.
There you go.
That would be great.
For sure. Well, that's all we got tonight. For all my geniuses out there, I appreciate you all tapping in. And make sure we'll see you guys next week in the master class. And then I have my 5-day real estate training that kicks off next Monday. Be Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. each night. We're going to be going through with the real estate investing boot camp, giving you guys the information that you need to build that real estate strategy that you need in order to learn how to generate wealth and make sure that you guys kind of start that process and take action. So we'd love for you guys to come out for that. And I got a discount code as well too that I uploaded in here. And any other questions? Anybody else? If not, I'm gonna hang around a little bit, and we'll see you guys next time. And to our guests, Ehrin, Paul, I appreciate you all coming out tonight, and look forward to hearing about all your future success. And then
awesome.
But I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys in Augusta before then. So
all right, tell us when you come, Johnny. Give us a heads up.
Yeah. I will.
All right, thank you, brother.
All right, take care.
All right, everybody. Any last minute questions? If you guys want to tap into the boot camp next week, 5 days training, we're going to give you all the information that you need. Essentially, I'm going to kind of walk through the strategies that I leverage to build my $10 million portfolio, a combination of single family and multifamily projects, talking through my fix and flip business that I have down in the Panama City, Florida market, and the deals that we do across the whole state of Alabama and the major metro areas. Mobile, Birmingham, Huntsville, and Montgomery. So make sure you guys tap in, shoot me a message or something if you want to connect. And I will see you guys next week. For those in the boot camp, we won't have a master class next Wednesday since the boot camp will be going on. And hope to see you guys there. Y'all have a blessed night.